Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while since I've been on Facebook Live, at least a week, right? But things have just been very, very busy on my end. But I was asked a question today that I wanted to take a moment to speak about because I love it when I get this question, but I don't think I've actually ever shared a response or taken the time out to do a Facebook post and share with the world why I do what I do. So now I titled this live session, Why Should I Care? And it all came from a question that I received this morning. I was actually asked, why? Bridget, why do you do this? Why do you do what you do? You have years of corporate experience. You can do so many other things, but why did you choose this? Why did you choose to be in senior services? And for me, the answer is actually quite simple for me. I do what I do because of, well, there are a lot of reasons, but I'll start here. I have a lot of family members that I love and care deeply about. A lot of them have needed some medical services, medical help, had surgeries. I had a dear cousin who battled with, actually I have two cousins. One's a distant cousin, one is close, like a brother to me, that battles with MS. I also had a friend who suffered from lupus, and there were so many different things. And, I could see the needs in their lives. Now, I know that honestly and sincerely, as much as we want to be there all the time, and as much as we try to be there all the time, that sometimes we just can't. So I choose to care for others because in my point of view and from my heart posture, I'm planting seeds in the lives of others. I'm giving them the best quality service and care that I can give, because when I'm not able to be there for my mom or my aunts or my cousins or any family member or friend who needs the same kind of help and service, I want my seeds that I plant to actually be seeds that they reap the harvest from. So I do what I do because of my family, but I also do what I do because of my heart posture. I have a heart to give and a heart to love. A lot of times when I meet family members or speak to family members who are trying to get help for their elderly parents or their mom or dad or grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, whatever, and I sit down and talk with them, I always like to share a little bit about my story. And one of the things that I always tend to lead with is that I was like the little girl raised in church, but I didn't really want to hang out with the youth group. I always wanted to be with older, very older, much older women, simply because for me, there's a certain type of love, experience, wisdom, concern, and relationship that they can give that other generations just aren't ready to give yet or have the skill sets to give yet. I also find that seniors are always trying to get it up and out. So if you can be still long enough and quiet long enough, they will literally give you the keys to some of the issues in your life. I like to say giving it the keys of the kingdom, because a majority of them definitely don't want you to have to go through some of the things that you went through. But I also am finding that there's such a disconnect between generations. We went from the best generation to the baby boomer generation, and then, okay, first take note, those generations has names and identities, right? Those were their identities, who they were. We are part of the greatest generation. We are part of the baby boomer generation. But then after that, it took a turn, right? So it goes from baby boomers to the millennials. Okay, that's kind of an identity, right? You were born during the turn from the 1900s to 2000s. Okay, that's a type of identity, but it really doesn't tell you or give the the terminology doesn't speak directly to who you are, right? But then it went from millennials, and then it goes into from millennials to Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z. I mean, we didn't even take the time to even give them an identity. They are just simply a letter, right? So that definitely shows that there is a generation gap between former generations and this generation, or the current generations. So that's another reason why I do what I do. I want to be part of bridging that gap. I want to be part of bringing generations together. There are so many people out there who just don't even know who they are. They don't even have a glimpse of the identity of who they are. So they're always trying to try different things, and if you don't know who you yourself up to, a lot of things that were never meant to be a part of your life or your lifestyle or whatever. So I think that it's important to bridge that gap between generations as well. Another reason why I do what I do is simply because I'm working in my purpose, and that's very important. So I have almost 30 years of corporate experience. I started off as a file clerk and switchboard operator and worked my way up through the ranks, and it was hard. And for the most part, I did this as a single parent with 3 boys. But here's the thing, though. When you're working within your purpose, people will look at you and think that it's so easy for you, and you have no issues, everything always goes your way. And that's not always the case. Working in your purpose doesn't mean that you won't have challenges or issues. Working within your purpose means that you're graced to be able to do things that maybe seem impossible for others, but you're able to break ground and plow ground in that area simply because you are working within the reason why, if I can say, the reason why you were born, or the reason why you're here on this earth. And that's another reason why I do what I do. I'll tell you another little story about myself, and this video is giving info about me because I think it's important that before you choose an in-home service provider or a caregiver, I think it's important that you have a glimpse of who you're working with, not only on a professional level, but you want to know a little bit personally where they're working from, the place within themselves that they're working and building from. So I remember when I was probably about 5, 6, something around there, I know I was very, very little, seeing an advertisement on the TV for 60 Minutes. And they were saying that they were going to have an interview that night with Mother Teresa. Had no clue who Mother Teresa was. I had never heard the name before. But something inside of me knew that I needed to watch that. So when the program came on, I sat there in front of the TV for the entire course of her interview. And I remember crying and saying, this is who I want to be, and this is what I want to do when I grow up. Not knowing how to make it happen, not knowing if I could even make it happen. I wasn't Catholic, wasn't raised Catholic, knew nothing about Catholicism. But I knew that I wanted to serve people, help people, and love people, because love is so needed, especially in times like this. But a lot of times I found that love is the one thing that out of fear people reject, are skeptical of, or just don't believe in. And I would say that that's because they haven't had through someone to truly, truly love them the way that they needed to be loved. And there were no courses on how to be a missionary. So I had no idea how to make it happen. And it was something that I've always wanted to do. And here I am, you know, decades later, and I'm actually doing it. And a lot of times I wonder, why did it take so long? But I'm grateful for the length of time, because all the things that I went through in corporate, all the things I went through as a single mom, all the just difficult times that I went to, created my character. It created a fortitude, a strength. It created some stamina. It created the ability to be able to resist back against those things that I know are not for me. It taught me that I don't have to accept or bow down or just receive the crumbs or receive what people want to throw at me, but it helped me to initiate my worth, my value, the power that lies within me, so that I know who I am, whose I am, and what I truly deserve. You know, I always say you can only bring value to the table if you know the value that lies within you. If you don't know that you're valuable, then you can't bring that a certain level of value to the table. And no matter how much you try to put the facade on, the mask on, people can see right through that. Anyone that's in tune with who they are as a person, they can automatically see and recognize someone who's in tune with who they are as a person as well. You know, sometimes today I had to be somewhere with a client. They were having an outpatient surgery, and they really, because I build relationships, not just business transactions. I've never been one to chase down a dollar, because as long as you're chasing a dollar, you will be chasing all of your life. You will never be able to acquire enough of it, because enough will never be enough for you. So I build relationship. I had spent a lot of time building a relationship with this, what I'll say is a young lady. And, you know, as we were on our way, I could tell she was maybe a little bit nervous, had a few things on her mind. But I could say to her with full heart, with all of my heart, I could say to her, all is going to be well, because all is well. Now, I can't tell the future. I have no crystal balls. But although I can't see the future, I know the one person who does know the future. So I have full confidence and belief that all is going to be well with her. And just that little bit of reassurance helped change her entire attitude, posture, and thought process about the surgery that she was getting ready to have. And it's the little things like that, those little details. See, you can say things in an attempt to reassure someone, but it really cannot come across into a healing place if it's not coming from a genuine place within you, an authentic and genuine place. You know, this industry uses what I call slang language, right? If you talk to any service provider company, or if you go online and check out their website, some of the key words that you will always hear is care, care, care. Well, what does care mean to you? What does care mean to them? Care at this point can just be a slang word to get your attention. But then you find out in the end that mom and dad they're not really getting the care that you had planned for them to have, or that they even deserve to have. So what is care? That's very important to keep in mind as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share those things. I didn't even mean for this video or this live to be as long as it did, but I just wanted to share my heart and pour out my heart. Also, I want to take this opportunity while I have your attention, to also say that if you are